At this time, salutatorian Nicholas LaForge will introduce today's commencement speaker.
Hello. We are pleased to have distinguished alumnus Jason Duika speak to us today. Jason is a 2001 graduate of Pinckney High School who has reached admirable heights in the field of opera performance. After graduation from Pinckney, Jason learned the art of singing and received his Bachelor of Music degree from Alma College. He then went on to Portland State University in Portland, Oregon, where he received his Master's of Music degree in opera performance. Jason is the recipient of numerous awards and scholarships, most notably the Dean's Jacobs School of Music Award from Indiana University, where he has completed his performer diploma. He has performed title roles in well-known operas and has performed with veteran Metropolitan Opera baritones. In the past year alone, Jason has performed at the Utah Festival Opera in Logan, performed the roles of Iago in Verdi's masterpiece Otello, and the Count in Mozart's Marriage of Figaro at the Wichita Grand Opera in Kansas, and worked with high school students in Bloomington, Indiana. When he is not traveling and performing, he makes his home in Tawas City, Michigan on Lake Huron. Jason credits his work ethic and enthusiasm for study, research, and learning to his former teachers at Pinckney High School and credits Pinckney High School for the birth of his interest in performance. Please welcome Jason Duika.
Thank you very much, Dr. Darga, Superintendent Danowski, members of the faculty, administration, honored guests, graduates, family, and friends. I am honored to be here at this commencement ceremony. Graduates, I hope it feels wonderful to be done with something, to have achieved a goal. For all that, you should be congratulated. And not just you, but your parents, your extended families, the Pinckney High School faculty, and the administration. It has been 12 years since I sat where you do, and I remember the place, my peers, and the teachers with great admiration, with a fondness tempered by time and with gratitude and love. Some of the teachers who were there for me then are here this day, and I wanted to let them know that I have not changed my mind. I can remember how excited I was to be done with high school and how unsure I was of my future. I remember being very anxious and scared, uncertain of my future in so many ways. Thankfully, I had two amazing parents who are here today, who loved me so much and never let me give up hope. So now what? Nudge yourself to take more risks. You will never know what is around the corner unless you take a peek. The time to take risks is now. We all have this in common. We want to be able to earn a living doing what we love. Whatever your aspirations, you want an invitation to the dance. Life is a long song, and it is to be lived with all the wonder, amazement, trials, and tribulations that make it so glorious. Have the nerve to go into unexplored territory. Be brave enough to live life creatively. The creative is the place where no one else but you can go. That is your signature. That is the applied physics of the energy only you emit. It is what makes you unique and allows you to seek the unknown. Leave your comfort zone and go into the wilderness of your intuition. Find and pursue your passion. I am fortunate to have grown up in a digital age that continues to evolve, connecting the thoughts and feelings of most people in every country of the world. But it is a double-edged sword. There is a great hope that the principles and ideals a democratic society holds dear will be supported and underpinned by a gain in speed in which humanity's capacity to reason together will chart a safe course into the future. And while you can Google an answer for this or that, which makes research and writing papers easier in college, and you can Google for a mate, and you can Google for a career, you cannot Google to find what is in your heart. It may seem that you are invincible and you have all the time in the world, but your time is limited. Don't waste it by living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, allowing other people's thinking to resolve the way that you live. Bring out your inner voice and let it be heard. Take initiative and get in the game. Have you ever heard that only dead fish go with the flow? Take action. All the stories you have ever connected with, all the leaders you have admired, and all that you have accomplished to date are a result of taking action. You not only have a voice, but you also have a choice. This is your life, and it is the only dance that there is. Don't be afraid to seek help. Some of the teachers here at Pinckney High have had to lift me up off the floor. In many ways, I could not have made it without them. Challenges will be everywhere. I have had a few. I spent a good 15 years in absolute hell with something I still have and will have all my life. It is called Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's is a very bizarre neurological disorder where a person has very little or no control for doing strange movements, tics, or saying straying things, oftentimes punctuated with colorful metaphors or swear words. On bad days, these tics would occur literally thousands of times. Looked upon by the misinformed, this was an easy reason to be the subject of ridicule, and you have your life made miserable. But it also gave me a voice to explain every day, sometimes every hour, why I was doing hundreds of things exhibited as symptoms of Tourette's. And even though I was shunned and ostracized and sometimes felt exhausted to be a human, I kept on trying. A lot of my teachers and family helped me to keep trying. I did not know at the time whether or not I would always be in such difficult circumstances. What was my future going to be? What sort of job would I have? Would I go to college? Fear is the mind killer. Some fears also transcend into normal activity, a way of coping. But what is normal? Fear can leave you paralyzed, feeling overwhelmed, and it can even make you afraid of success. That is why you will need advice along the way. No man or woman is an island. Ask your parents often, how am I doing? Keep in touch with good friends and work at keeping them good friends. Be accountable not just to yourself but to others. One day you will understand it is harder to be kind than to be clever. Be as persistent as you can be and do not give up. Nothing is really over until the moment you stop trying. We all have to pay our dues in one way or another, and most of us earn our happiness. Don't be afraid of looking foolish once in a while. You are going to anyway. I was given an opportunity in my sophomore year at Pinckney to sing a solo of O Holy Night at the school's Christmas pageant. This was held in the old high school, now the middle school. At the time, Tourette's syndrome ruled my day-to-day life, and no one knew, including me, how I would sing. I remember to this day how nervous I was, but when the time came, I stood, I trembled, but I did sing. The audience of over 1,000 gave me a standing ovation. Since that time, I have been pursuing my dream, which is to sing opera. It is a constant struggle where thousands apply, hundreds are asked to audition, and a handful are chosen. I have had the good fortune to continue to be asked to audition, to obtain contracts as an understudy as well as a principal. I am also thankful to have had numerous standing ovations, and I consider this the residue of hard work doing something I love. Class of 2013, what do you envision for yourselves? Don't be fooled by what success means to the world out there. As you know, it is not measured by what we have, but by what we do, what we think, and the difference each of us can make. Everything is not as it appears, and vive la différence. Some of you are better at math and science, some at arts and letters, some at sports. What lens do you use to see the world around you? I would have to say that my lens has been singing, not opera necessarily, but the act of expressing oneself through the art of song. I can't really explain when it started. All I know is I was very young. It just felt natural. Back then, I had no idea it would become my passion, livelihood, and career all rolled into one. I merely knew in my heart and head that it felt right. It's a strange thing how we express ourselves. Some do it in fashion, some in athletics, some in writing, and some in art. But I am a member of a few who use our voices to lift spirits, communicate complicated ideas about love in a foreign language that is at once thrilling as it is beguiling. I wonder how an alien life form would react to the sound that I emit. Would they stand still, admiring, or vaporize me? How will you all choose to express yourselves in the future? I must admit, I don't see as much self-expression that is truly felt in this world as I wish I did. Please don't let fear of being looked at oddly or being prejudged keep you from true self-expression. Please don't. You are more than a member of a popular clique or an in-group. If I were dictated by those primal fears, I would have turned down the remarkable opportunity to speak before you all today. I would never have flown to Paris to sing for the National Opera of France. I would never have applied to the literally dozens of opera companies and traveled all across this country seeking a contract. I would never asked out that particular girl who I thought was so beautiful, but could she possibly care for me? I never would have started teaching in a high school this year because the many bad memories of my own high school experience might have kept me from it. I would have thought it too difficult and too time-consuming to be both a professional opera singer and an amateur bodybuilder. Lo and behold, they complement each other perfectly. I might have decided that staying at home and playing it safe was the more sensible idea. Please don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. I live every day outside of mine. I think that is perhaps the nature of a performer. Life can be summed up in many ways: pathways, roads, choices, and chances. If life is the sum of choices, will you make the right one, or will you learn more from choosing the wrong one? The thing about a choice, though, is that you must first make it. If you make a decision in life, sometimes good things happen, and sometimes bad things happen. But if you never make the choice to begin with, nothing will happen. What choices will you make in the future? As you go and make your way collectively and as individuals in this remarkable pale blue dot that orbits a small star on an outer arm in a spiral galaxy that is one of billions in our known universe, remember that there is nothing inadequate about any of you. In closing, and to underpin this, I would like to offer two quotes, one from Marianne Williamson and another which is an excerpt from Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Mrs. Williamson said that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Our light most frightens us, not our darkness. Your playing small does not serve the world. We are all meant to shine. It gives other people permission to. As we are liberated from our own fear, it automatically liberates others. And this by Tennyson. We are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven. That which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Thank you, and all the best in the future. Thank you very much. That's very generous. Ordinarily, I would sit down, but last week I received an email from Mrs. Mary Kushner, who's the class representative for you guys, and apparently I was asked to sing something. I informed her that this has nothing whatsoever to do with commencement, and she said, I don't care. So, you all have heard of Mozart? Okay. This is Figaro's first act aria, Se vuol ballare, from The Marriage of Figaro by Mozart. Sorry, I have to get my pitch pipe. Hold on.
Se vuol ballare, signor Contino, se vuol ballare, signor Contino, il chitarrino le suonerò, il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò. Se vuol venire nella mia scuola, la capriola le insegnerò. Se vuol venire nella mia scuola, la capriola le insegnerò, sì, le insegnerò, sì, le insegnerò. Saprò, 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 ma piano, 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 piano. meglio ogni arcano dissimulando scoprir potrò. L'arte schermendo, l'arte doprando, di qua pungendo, di là scherzando, tutte le macchine rovescerò. L'arte schermendo, l'arte doprando, di qua pungendo, di là scherzando, tutte le macchine rovescerò, tutte le macchine rovescerò, tutte le macchine rovescerò. Se vuol ballare, signor Contino, se vuol ballare, signor Contino, il chitarrino le suonerò, il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò.
Thank you, Jason, so much for attending today's ceremony and sharing your inspiring words. On behalf of the senior class, I'd like to have you have this gift as a token of their appreciation for being here. Thank you so much.